Welcome back. So, made a bit of progress. Got the crankset that I wanted. Gone for 160mm cranks because I want to keep ground clearance. Not looking for long cranks. I got 165s on my current downhill bike. I just thought may as well just go for the 160s. These have got left and right chainring mounts, obviously, which is what I want because I'm going to be mounting the drive ring on the left side, going up to the jack shaft, which is here. One thing I ran into was clearance for the length of the axle. I did look into, let me get, excuse me, I got an old bottom bracket cup. I'm not quite sure what this was. Shimano, perhaps. Usually Shimano with me. Pulled the bearing out. And I could have pressed some of these. These are 6904 2s, Bs, 2 RS, 2 rubber seals. These should have pressed in pretty nice. I think they would have been okay. But after making the sprocket carriers, I realised they're not a million miles away from bottom bracket cups. Same thread. Obviously I've only done these as right hand threads, but I thought to myself, why not have a go? So what I've done is machine up my own bottom bracket cups, and these are going to be these are like mega sturdy. Like, they might be too sturdy because a lot of people forget that essentially a threaded bottom bracket is actually, it's actually press fit, because that's press fit. I know Enduro bearings have got the max hit bottom bracket now, which is stainless steel cup, which has got the race built into it, and then it's a bearing assembly. This is, by the time you've threaded this in, it's essentially a press fit bottom bracket. Watching Hambini, he did say, and I am amazed at like the minimal amount of metal or material. Like, I don't need this anymore, so I'm gonna cut this just to see how much material actually is there, because I think there's almost nothing. But what these do, and the reason that they don't creak, like Hambini pointed out, you've got a hard material in a soft material, and any sort of misalignment in the threaded shell, which there is, there'll always be. It's not going to be perfect. Because the bearings inside these, like that's quite thick. This is the bearing that came out of here, so it's like, it's much narrower. It's exactly the same outside diameter, but this is for like mountain bike cranks. That one's for BMX. What's this, like 25mm without the sleeve? Because normally there's like a plastic sleeve in here. Anyway, so I've ordered up bearings, which I believe they're the same as Acros hub bearings. 19mm inside diameter. Whatever these are, I can't remember what they are now. 36, something like that. Oh, 37. So these are 37mm outside diameter. It's tricky to get them in 7mm wide with a 19mm internal diameter, but I've managed to find some, so they're on their way. Anyway, I digress. What I'm doing now is I'm going to be using bearings with the same outside diameter as this in these cups, which means that, you know, they only have to recess like that much instead of taking up all that, because I did discover, because of the minimal amount of meat here, I made a bit of a paperweight. As I was boring this cup out to accept this width bearing, yeah, it turned into tin foil and it just broke away. So that's why I'm going for like a half diameter bearing. So there's, you know, there's going to be more meat there. It's just stronger in it. So that's a nice little paperweight. Come in handy for something. So I'll show you what's what. So now the plan was get the cranks, sort out bottom brackets. I've got the Bushnell, or the eccentric rather, in the bottom bracket shell, and then I was going to be able to work out my chain line. So obviously now further up the frame, this will be welded in. I'm going to need, this is going to be narrower. I got 38mm tubing. So, you know, tube's going to be like that wide. It's going to sit there. I'm going to have to take a bit off each end, but all I need, each end of this is obviously going to be narrower. I'm looking for about 21mm. So I'm going to need that each side. But I still can't work out how wide I'm going to need it, or how short the jack shaft is going to have to be until I get the chainring. Now, this bearing is going to be recessed into the tube, and it looks like it's going to be okay, to be honest. I can kind of estimate where it's going to be. And like I said, you know, I can flip these sprockets to adjust for, you know, I can adjust the chain line. I'll probably leave myself a little bit of wiggle room so I can shim left and right, just to get, you know, it'll take up a bit of slack then. So if I can shim it, I did say in the last video, I was going to make tapered washers and put in like an M6 down through there, but I changed the idea and I've put I think it's an M10, can't remember. So yeah, just a stainless steel tapered bolt, tapered headed bolt. Cut the taper in there. You know, it's just way simpler, isn't it? So that'll be nice and solid. Tapers are always good. So that's that. I'll show you the bottom bracket cups I've made. Yeah, so pretty happy with these. Like I said, I made a paperweight with the other one. You're gonna always have mistakes, and I'm not a machinist. I've got a rough idea what I want, and I know kind of like how to get there. First time cutting left-hand threads on my mini lathe, But you know, these, you know, it cuts threads really nicely actually. These are lovely and smooth. So yeah, that's the left-hand thread side. And then we've got the right-hand side. Yeah, so they are what they are. These are going, you know, they're really beefy. That's pretty much what I want in it. You know, I don't want, like, as I've said before, I'm not making a cross-country bike. You know, it's basically standard bottom bracket shell, like threaded bottom bracket cup size. But you know, I'm not chasing weight, so I've left. That's just a tad over 19 mil. You know, 19 mil axle. I want to try and keep a bit of strength in there. Does it need it? I don't know. It's just a bottom bracket cup, but that's the way it's staying. This still needs to be bored out to take the bearings. It's going to be like 7 mil depth. You know, and by the time that's done, we're going to get, you know, well, that's how it's going to look, isn't it? But with like shallower bearing. So if I bored this out to accept this, you know, we're in the same game as the other one that spun itself in half. There's not a lot of meat there. So yeah, that's about where we're at. I'm probably going to leave these plain. You might think, well, he's got no way of tightening these. They don't have to be mega tight. Just riding alone will, you know, it tightens them. Maybe a little bit of blue thread lock. The idea is, what I'm going to do, I'll drill a little hole there. Either buy or make a C-spanner, and I'll just tighten it up with that, and it'll be, you know, pretty neat looking. Don't want anything too fancy. I did try some engine turning the other day. You can't really see on here. I haven't got the, you know, I got a wobbly old pillar drill. I need the right stuff. There's like an abrasive rod used for polishing. I'm probably not going to go down that route. You know, I was just riffing ideas. So that's where we're at. So I still can't determine the width of this. I got a good idea. You know, it's going to be from the center line. You're going to have 38 mil tubing on there. 38 mil. I'm looking for 20 mil each end. So that's, you know, it'll determine how much I've got, and then I'll machine it down to the right diameter then, or the right width rather, for proper alignment with the cranks. But stuck again because I haven't got the chain ring. That'll be coming soon. I'll get the chain ring. I'll know exactly you know, where the chain line's going to sit, and then I'll have a better idea. I want to keep things, you know, I could offset things. Maybe I'll have to. I don't know. We'll see. So that's where we're at. Not a lot happened, but I'm pretty happy with these. These are, you know, not something you can buy. Absolutely. They're not that heavy compared to this. This is like nothing, but for what I need, they are going to be just right, I think. So I'm happy with those. So just for shits and giggles, I cut that bottom bracket cup, and you can see there's like hardly anything there. It's amazing. you know, it's got this ridge inside, which is adding a bit of meat. But yeah, that's nuts. And when you think about, like, you know, how much force goes through these, you got all that rider weight. Like, they're not really supporting much, you know, because this is threaded into the bottom bracket shell. Then you've got the bearing, but yeah, that's almost nothing, isn't it? So what we got? About 2 mil, 2 millimeter. Yeah. So it just goes to show, you know, just how like lightweight things can be, and they can still be like super strong. So I guess, you know, it's not like there's like a lot of stuff, like it's not like torsional force, because it's like the you know, the bearings like right there, so it's like up and down force, I guess, some twisting, but that's mad. There's nothing much there. Probably a bit more meat in these. Obviously they're a bit heavier, aren't they? But that's what I want. We'll see. It's like, you know, I'm not a parts manufacturer. I don't want them to be like super light. I'm not in competition with anyone. The whole assembly, I picked it up and I'm like, shit, this is, you know, this is some heavyweight stuff. But like I said, it's not a cross-country bike. I did mention in the last video that I was struggling to find oval T45. I can get it, but at a premium. That stuff's going to come into me. I'm looking to get a section that is 20 by 40. So 40 mil high, 20 mil wide. There's obviously there's none in stock. It has to be profiled by this company. And whereas I can buy like a tube of like a meter of T45 and 38 mil, 1.5 or 1 mil thick. I don't know what it comes in at. It's like 38, 40 quid. I was quoted £260 for 2 meters. Yeah, it's not kept in stock. It's handmade, I guess. It's hand rolled. It's not a machine done process. So I guess the money's, well, yeah, the guy on the other end of the email said, yeah, basically it's man hours and tooling, which I can understand. I did have a cheeky little squeeze in the vise. I don't think it's feasible. I can't do it in the vise. It's going to make a hell of a mess. I probably wouldn't get, you know, it's slightly ovalized, isn't it? But it's nowhere near straight. I could possibly do it with a hydraulic press. A couple of people on Frame Builders Facebook page said you could probably make some sort of die, put it in a like hydraulic press. We'll see. I'm considering using stainless steel. I did actually find some large diameter stainless steel. It's a tad oversized for what I need, but it's going to allow me to use the bearings that I wanted to go over here. So it's tricky to see. It's pretty big. I think it's what they use for exhausts. I'm not sure. But it's 316 stainless. It has, I believe, yeah, it's got a welded seam, but it'll be cut there. It'll be cut there. It'll be about like 21 mil wide, split. So when the bearings are inside, there'll be a pinch bolt, and obviously it's only welded there. That'll be cut out anyway, so it'll be pinched. I could probably form this from sheet, but seeing as it's already in this shape, which is circular, it'll be fine. I probably wouldn't use. I don't want to go down the route of using welded pipe or tubing for any of the frame or swing arm, because I believe it has inherent weaknesses. So I'm looking for seamless stainless steel, maybe box section, like rectangular box section. Aesthetically, it's probably nowhere near where I want it to be. Functionally, yeah, it's going to be fine. The only reason I want ovalized tubing or box section tubing is purely clearance. Yeah. So anybody watching this has got any ideas, let me know, because I'm not stuck, but I might be missing something completely obvious here. Yeah, so like if anybody's got any ideas for reprofiling tubing, I've got a couple. Like I said, could find somebody with a press. That's an option. But that's where we're at. So we're getting there. You know, it's still just a collection of parts and tubes at the moment, but it's getting closer to the point where I can, you know, actually start like finalizing the cuts, you know, filing in the joins, getting the seams all like perfect, getting them welded. So it's starting to get there. I think that once these few bits are, you know, sorted out, cleared, I've got the chainring, it's gonna be plain sailing. Oh, it's not gonna be plain sailing, is it? But it'll be a quicker process than it has been so far. I think so far it's been like, oh shit, I need this, so how do I make that? So I'm gonna make that. I haven't got tooling to do this, so I got to make tooling to do that. But we're getting there. So pretty happy with these. You know, it's nothing. It's just a couple of turn parts with a couple of threads. But can I buy them in the shop? Not for what I want. You can get threaded bottom brackets. I think the Euro is it in the BMX world. A Euro bottom bracket with 90mm inside diameter bearings, but they're really wide and it doesn't allow me, because this is 68mm, it doesn't, you know, this needs to be a little bit narrower. It doesn't give me any wiggle room. It doesn't, you know, I can't use this size axle. Can't find any wider BMX axles. If they're about, somebody let me know. So yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching.